They tell me you're a man with true grit.
What do you want, girl? Speak up at supper time.
Welcome to True Grit. We are live here in Davenport, Iowa, Done Right TV, and True Grit is a podcast where we discuss the grit of the racing life. Hey, tonight we got Mr. Excitement on here, Mitch Way. Mitch, good to have you.
All right, thanks, Shane. It's a pleasure to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. Hey, tonight we want you to make sure and check out our website, anything on racing. You go to www.doneright.tv. Or you can go to Facebook and check out Done Right TV. And then, Pat, what do we want to do if somebody's watching right now? They want to like and share.
That's right. Yeah. Make sure you like and share. If you're watching us either on Facebook, make sure you like and share. Same thing with YouTube. Smash that subscribe button. It helps us. It helps the channel. And share it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And especially since this is what we love. The sport that we love. And it's always nice to get new blood involved and share it in our social media and hopefully get some new fans involved.
Yeah, and hey, if they want to type a message to Mitch or ask him a question, what do they got to do?
They're gonna if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, just type it in the comments. We actually have it live here on the screen, and we'll read them out. And encourage people to like and share, and also leave comments, ask questions for Mitch, for myself, for Shane.
All right.
We'll make sure we cover them in the show.
Hey, before we get rolling with Mitch, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Davenport Speedway coming up this Friday, June 10th. It's just going to be a regular weekly racing program with IMCA late models, modifieds, sport mods, street stocks, and we're going to have the four-cylinder stock cars out there. Thursday, June 16th, that's coming up in 2 weeks. We're going to have the Dirt Car Summer Nationals, Pat. That'll be a good time.
That'll be a great show.
Then the following week, on Friday, June 24th, we're going to have the Sprint Invaders in town, Pat.
You know what? Hope it does not rain.
Yeah.
It would be great to see the sprint cars out there. We were just talking this last weekend about getting the sprint car out and trying to do double duty that night.
That'll be a good time. Then finally, coming up on June 25th, we'll be back up at West Liberty Raceway. And just to talk about a couple of upgrades, we've been talking about things that the Fair Board wanted to do to the track. And they get that half-mile wall painted white again.
Fantastic.
It looks beautiful. It really does. And, hey, they just got it painted white first night of racing last week, and they had one of the stock car guys bang into it and initiate it, so it's got a nice big black mark on there.
Blinding glare of the fresh white paint. No, I can't help it.
I can't handle it.
You know what? It's great, though. The Kyles are putting a lot of effort into it. It's great to see semi-weekly racing or bi-monthly racing up there. I highly encourage everybody to get up there and support that show as well as any show, but especially that one because they're trying to get it kicked off. And I know that's there's not a lot of racing between the Des Moines and Marshalltown area and the west side of the Quad City, so it's really nice to have that. Plus, it's the only half mile in the area.
Now, over at Davenport Speedway, all these upgrades going on there every year. I want to talk about the potential for 6 new skyboxes over there coming off turn 4.5 mile.
How about that?
And rebuilding of the concession building. But that's all in the planning phase, so I just don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but let you know that Davenport Speedway and the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds always working on some cool stuff at that track, too. And, it's nice that you can go into a facility like that, bring in a show like World Outlaws or, whoever it may be, Lucas Oil MLRA. And you got a first-class facility that you're going to be racing in.
Without a doubt. And you know what? It helps the entire organization. It helps all of us, even all the way down to the racers, because we can't do what we do without sponsors, without people that help us. Right. And honestly, the non-racers, the people that are on the fence, if they come to check it out and it's a shoddy, rundown facility that they're racing at, they're not going to be that interested in supporting it. Or if they do, they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. And so the Kais are doing such an amazing job, and it really has propelled Davenport into one of the, if not the premier place to race on Friday nights, or the premier stock car place in the Midwest. And it's nice to see them give back, and I think it will continue to feed itself. You'll get more people involved. You see the car counts are up. You'll get more sponsors involved, and it'll just continue to grow.
Yeah. And, hey, we want to let everybody know out there that's watching tonight on Done Right TV, we have got some door prizes for you. We got some banners that Mitch Way has signed that you can hang in your garage. And we've got some Done Right ball caps we're going to be giving away. So hang in there. Give us the right answer, and you might have some of these cool door prizes. And if you want a door prize, we'll mention this again. Pick it up down here at 1414 West Locust Street in Davenport, right on the way to the racetrack. And
That's right.
We are keeping this stuff. If you don't pick up your stuff within a week, it goes back into the True Grit prize vault, and we give it away down the road.
It doesn't get hung up in the Moore Motorsports race shop.
Yeah, that sounds good, Pat. We like that. Hey, here we go. Let's go with picture number 32 to kick this thing off, Wookie. I want to take a look at it. We're going to start out back in the day, Mitchell, with the guy who got you 32 would be a picture of you're on 31 right now. Let's go to picture 32, and we'll get a picture of Bob Pepper's grandpa.
That's right. Right here in my right behind my right shoulder. So.
Yay! How do you like
I
that?
decided to stay in.
So I remember that yellow car that you were in at that time, Mitchell. I mean, you started out in a dwarf car, and that car was also driven by who?
Bob himself.
Bob himself. There you
Grandpa
go.
drove and,
I remember. We were
Nice.
both young, and we were wheeling a few race cars, but got you behind the wheel, and you had success pretty early on.
Yeah, it took some prying to get me in that car, but it was probably the scare of him when I was racing my quad around property out here that we had. And he said I had to get in something with a roll cage. So
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Smart.
but
Yeah. Hey, Wook, let's go to picture number 23. We'll see one of those dwarf cars that you did drive. And those cars, they were hot out Hawkeye Raceway and down, in southern Illinois and Missouri and that area. And then the legend cars came in the area. But there you are at East Moline Speedway. Nope, that guy's too young to be you, Mitch.
yeah.
Man,
I was
you were a
pretty
little
young
guy.
there.
That's before you started lifting weights,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah. Yeah,
And-
that car there got the body transformed on it. That's a yellow car. There's probably a picture in here somewhere with the body prior. But when the mod lights come about, that one got transformed to that style just to kind of help as an aero advantage.
Very cool.
And
That
another-
thing was still fast. It just didn't matter what you did to that thing.
No kidding. And then you got another legend standing next to you, old Doug Hack. I think Doug's, I'm going to say 70 years old right now. And still up there doing his thing and flagging. And, he was a young man in that picture, too.
Yep, I remember Doug flagging when we ran TQs up there.
Yeah, he's been around
Back
a
in
long
the
time.
80s. He's always a first-class flagman.
The cost of those dwarf cars, too, those were all home built. It wasn't like you were going to Rage and picking up a brand new car. A lot of those cars were home built right in people's shop. And
A lot of them were to begin with, and then you could do like a Rage or there was like a Pro chassis. The red one I had, it was
Okay.
a Pro chassis. There's a couple other names I can't think of right offhand, but there were guys out there building them full time. And
what were they running in those for engines back then? Like,
the dwarf car, you could about run whatever you wanted.
Okay.
But you could only max out at 1262.5 cc.
okay.
Okay.
But you could run Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, whatever.
Nice.
All right.
Oil cooled, water cooled. But it wasn't like the Legend car where you're only stuck to one engine.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to roll the clock forward a little bit. Now, let's see if I can find a picture of the car that, I loved and made me fall in love with your driving style out there, Mitchell. And we talked, a little earlier about number 30, Wook. That one right there, you got into it. That would be 29. So we're going to go to number 30. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Now, that was over at Davenport Speedway, Mitchell.
That's Davenport, yeah.
Was that a champ car? I mean, I looked the way the front bars come down on the stub, or do you remember what kind of car that was right offhand?
It might have been a mixture of a few things. Well, it was a mixture of a few things eventually.
Yeah.
But Al Deloy had a lot of part in that
Oh,
car.
There you go.
Prior to this picture,
Yeah.
it had older suspension. It was like a 3-link with a Reese bar in it,
And it worked.
and it worked. It was fast, and then we converted it over 4-bar and pull bar, and
Okay. Yeah, I remember that car, seeing you out there racing, and we kind of talked about it, and I've talked to your grandpa about it. I remember you leading the feature one night. You're a young driver. You dump that thing. You drive it to the front and dump it. Then you drive it to the front and win the feature. Was that for the fans? You just wanted to put on a good show for them?
I could lie and say so, but no. No, that was my little bit of lack of talent, I would say. But even though there was talent there, but
you watch drivers, Mitchell, and your grandpa, was the same way, and Pat, your dad was this way. You could see in a few laps whether or not they were going to make it, and they were going to be something special, or whether they were just going to be, another driver out there. And so, my dad always used to tell me I'd rather have a racehorse that I got to pull the reins back on a little bit than to have an old nag you got to whip. And when I seen you out there, I thought, man, he's got it. This kid's not scared of anything. Yeah. And, he's going to be somebody that you're going to have to deal with down the road a ways. So, your grandpa trained you up well, and then you had somebody that the magic that he could work on those cars. I mean, your grandpa just knew everything about setting up one of those cars.
Yeah.
And
he taught me everything he knew about it, and then I took it further.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of like he is right now, sitting in the chair watching.
Enjoying the good life, yeah.
Watching me make it go faster, but...
Now, what about Mike Clays? Whatever happened to him? He was helping you for a period of time back in the day?
Yeah, he had helped the family years ago, way back before I ever drove, back with Joe Peppers and when Willard drove, and like Helm even drove. But Mike was involved, and then as we were getting into the modified, Grandpa got him back involved again, and he helped out with engine type stuff, and we just kind of combined it all together, and we won. Had a lot of good wins, but just like any other time or day, you have bad ones too.
Hey, yeah.
So
that's the way it goes. Hey, Wook, so let's get number 28 up there. I'll take a picture of that. Now, that car there, nice. What was that one, Mitchell?
That one was a champion. That one there was a 03 champion.
Okay.
02?
Yeah.
No, it was a 2002 champion.
Okay. Man, that was a rocket.
It was fast right out the gate, and
we
went to West Liberty and we won the spring championship 2 years in a row, and people are scratching their heads like, why is this kid so fast?
Yeah.
Like, who is this kid? And prior to this picture here, it was an orange car, and we got turned and rolled down the front stretch of West Liberty and landed on the roof in turn one, and
ouch.
And it had to get reworked. To this here, and then still fast.
Nice.
But we're not so sure it wasn't as fast as what it originally was when it was orange.
Man, when I'm looking at some of the people, John Bloomer checking in from Long Grove, Iowa. We've got Mom, Wendy, checking in from Durant, Denny Paulson, Chris Whitmer, welcome to the show. Gus Grip checking in. Happy to have you all on board. So that was, a rocket of a car, and I want to take a look again at number 24, Wook, just to kind of talk about the history of this car. And, of course, Bob knows a lot more than me, but we'll talk about it anyway. That 00 car, let's go to 24. That would be, there we go. That one right there, down in Victory Lane, and you're running with the Vintage Racing group that time.
Yep.
Now, was this when you got back, Mitchell? After you came back from North Carolina, you were in this car?
Yep. Grandpa and Uncle Mike, they were trying to talk me into getting into that car. And
there you go.
And so finally I gave in, and we started driving.
Yeah.
And doing races with it. And I was trying to learn again how to drive because I hadn't since 05.
Yeah.
And then that thing's completely different.
Sure.
From anything I've ever driven. But, yeah, we were fast, and they knew we were there from – word go.
Sure.
So,
and that was originally, and Bob's off camera right now, but Bob, was that Ronnie Whedon's car? That was his car. So that was originally a Ronnie Whedon car that was kind of tucked away and pulled out and rebuilt.
Yep.
And
I remember as a kid seeing it sit off to the side, and
that's awesome.
That was the real deal.
Oh yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about Ronnie Whedon while we're on the subject. That guy, he was a special guy. He was a good teacher for a lot of young drivers. Yeah. What role did he play in your career? Did you have a chance to talk to Ronnie about different things, Mitchell?
Yeah, I talked to Ronnie a lot. I was learning from him early on, and then it kind of got to the point he was learning from me.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, how am I able to teach this guy something? But he took it, and one of the things, this is pretty funny, Grandpa always thinks this is something to chuckle about, is we were at East Moline, and Ronnie tells me, hey, just run against the wall. There's an air pillow up there. There wasn't an air pillow up there. I knocked that wall down.
Especially in East Moline, that wall's not very forgiving.
No, but Ronnie's a great guy, and it was honored, unfortunate for him passing, but I was able to parade his car around the track at the funeral.
When we were over there at Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds, you would have thought the governor of Iowa had passed away.
Yeah.
That the line was a mile long. It was packed. I know Phil Roberts did the eulogy, but the fans turned out. I mean, it was like a regular race night. The stands are packed. What your grandpa did as far as assembling all that was on display.
All the
in
other race
Starlight,
cars.
all that stuff. It was just a massive undertaking, and it was a way to honor a true racing legend in our area.
Yeah.
So we're going to click the ball ahead a little bit. Let's go to picture number 8. And so the first question for a door prize, and we're not going to talk about what year this is yet. First question for a door prize, we're going to ask what year Mitchell Way started with Cowbush Motorsports. So give us a year, punch it in the message section up there, you see. And, hey, if you get the year correct, then you're going to win. You're going to win a Done Right hat.
There you go. Nice.
You can stop over here at the studio anytime. We're open 8 to 5 weekdays. We're on 1414 West Locust Street, right on the way to the racetrack.
And I also give a little plug to Done Right. If you're, as we all are, struggling with high gas prices and you're looking for a little bit more economical way to get around town, they have some amazing electric bikes on display, a wide array of electric bikes.
I'm
check them
old.
out right here at the studio.
Even if the gas prices hadn't went up, I'd still like to ride one of them things.
I know. They're fun.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun. So, hey, we had the picture of the Cowbush truck up there, and there's so many great stories that I want to tell and have you tell, Mitchell. But I got to tell you, the day that you were packing up your bags, I mean, you were one of the top modified drivers around here in the Quad Cities. I mean, if the 01's there, he's got a shot to win. Yeah. And, especially, I liked watching you up there at Liberty on the half mile. So I got to tell you, the day that you packed up and you decided to head down to North Carolina, and go after bigger and better things, number one, it was very brave. It was something I talked about, during my race career, is just packing up and heading down south. But I never had the courage to do it. What drove you to head down to North Carolina and see what that was all about?
Well, we had in 2005, we also had that late model we bought from Davenport, and they never finished. And between that car and we lost the motor out at West Liberty with it, and a couple of races with the modified, it wasn't that great of a year. Okay. And at that point, at the end of the year, I was like, let's just give it a try.
Yes.
Let's go to North Carolina and give it a try. What do I got to lose?
Yeah.
Worst case, I come back.
Yeah.
I'll give it a month. I'll give it a year. Whatever the case is. And but yeah, I ponied up and with some hard work, my own cash, $900 in my pocket, and drove off in my Uncle Joe's camper that he used to pull the race car with down to North Carolina.
$900.
So that's all I had.
Man, Pat, I could have passed the hat around and got you a little more.
Yeah.
That took a lot of courage.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
It was tough.
So
it was tough, and not knowing anybody or didn't have a job, and just.
What did you do when you get down there? You just start knocking on doors?
I created the best resume I could, but it was living in Iowa dirt racing.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know how I could use that and compare it to anything down there. Trying to go NASCAR racing, or my first job was Hooters Pro Cup racing, but still asphalt and nothing I'm familiar with.
Sure.
But yeah, I had about 200 resumes I printed off, and I just went everywhere. Just absolutely everywhere.
Nice.
Burnt a lot of gas. And like I said, I only had $900 from the time I left here. And it was one resume after another. And finally, a guy that he'd been around racing for quite some time, he was like the crew chief on this Hooters Pro Cup deal, and he eventually hired me. But unfortunately, it only lasted a couple months as they shut the doors.
Oh boy.
That happens a lot.
But it was probably, it was 6 months later. He calls me back. I landed a job out at PPI, which it was a cup team at the time that Travis Quapple drove, the Tide car.
Right. I remember that
But
car.
I was primarily out there for the Jerry Robertson 78 Furniture Row car.
Okay.
Very nice.
So
yeah.
Bernie Visser is in Denver, Colorado,
Right.
but it was housed and furnished in North Carolina.
Hold that thought, Mitchell. Do we have a winner yet, Wilk? Yep, Bob Danielson.
Bob Danielson.
You get
How about that?
a done right hat. Come on over here to the studio. We just got a fresh shipment in. You can stop over here now that you're retired and just pick one up during the day. Get one that fits you.
Shout out to Bob, by the way.
Yeah, we got them in
Good job,
red
Bob.
and gray and black and gray. So go ahead, Mitch. Just keep on rolling. The race team, Travis Quapple.
Yeah, so
Number
I was
32.
I was working on the Furniture Row car, and would have been bush racing, I guess, at that time. Wasn't Xfinity quite yet.
Yep.
And man, I was just not liking it. I'm driving an hour each direction.
Oh boy.
You know, new to this deal, and
Where are you staying at?
I was in Mooresville
Okay.
at the time.
Did you have an apartment or?
I was living with another lady that she needed a room, or she had a room and to rent out,
Yeah.
and I'm like, perfect. This works out great for me.
Right.
And we were not far from the lake, and
Oh man.
so. But it was tough living there because
Yeah.
it was the traffic, and
Oh, yeah.
it was a one way in, one way out kind of deal where we were living, and
Oh boy.
but I loved it though. It was great, and she was awesome, and
No winters.
what's that?
No winter.
Well, I don't know about all
No
that.
Iowa winter, huh?
Chilly,
It
not
wasn't
like
an
here.
Iowa winter, but they got snow.
Yeah.
When I first went down there, we were leaving to go test at Lakeland, Florida. And I go to the store to buy a few things before we head out, and the snowflakes are like the size of a $50. I'm like, everyone told me it didn't
the
snow
heck?
down here.
Hey, what about picture 54, Wookie?
Yeah, and so for people listening, the way that Charlotte's laid out, you have Charlotte, the racetrack, which is just straight north of Charlotte, and then most of the race teams are housed in Mooresville, which is due west. But then you have pockets of teams that are some are up north. And man, the traffic out there is
Was that snow, Mitchell? Or what was that?
How about that?
No, that's out on vacation, out on a cruise somewhere.
Yeah.
Life
Love it.
jacket.
Looks like you're really, toughing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's great. So we'll look at a couple of more pictures here, Wook. Let's take a look at number 13. Got the whole crew lined up, and that's the Dollar General truck.
Yeah.
And hey, did you get a discount on stuff at Dollar General? Like your stuff was 50 cents, or?
I don't know. I never tried.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if
okay.
we did or not. We also had Traxxas, like the remote control
Right.
vehicles.
Oh,
we
my
had
God.
Traxxas, but we had discounts on them and got a couple free ones. And,
Hey, how about that?
I like that.
So how do you transition from the Furniture Row team to Kyle Busch Motorsports?
So when I got that call from the guy I worked with on the Hooters Pro Cup deal, he worked for a truck team that he had before, and it was Express Motorsports.
Okay.
And I went and then started working with them, and the owner, he wanted me to go straight to the racetrack, like right now. I'm like, wait a minute, I got to put in my 2 weeks here. I want to do this the right way. And, oh, you're fine. And then he wanted me to gas. I'm like, I'm just this little guy. I'm 165, 170 pounds at that time, and barely working out. And he wants me to gas, and I got 100 pounds of fuel above my head. And but he called, and I'm like, yeah, most definitely. I want to. Yeah, I'll be back in Mooresville and shorter drive, and be probably more along the lines of where I want to be,
Right.
career-wise, to start with. And it was from then on. It was actually so Brian Scott drove the 16 for Dave with Express Motorsports, and then him and his dad bought it, and then eventually Kyle bought into it. And then bought like the building and the trucks and equipment, and that's kind of where Kyle Busch Motorsports of the truck portion started.
Now, Mitchell, so in the big scheme of things, Kyle Busch was not a high-dollar truck team to start off with.
No.
No, not compared
No,
to some of the teams who are out there.
we had some of the used trucks that David bought or built
All right.
while he owned Express Motorsports, and then there was a couple of them. You probably remember back in the day, Bill Davis.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We had a couple of their trucks, and that's kind of where we kind of started with Kyle Busch Motorsports, and then started building our own trucks, and then weeded out the other ones, and just it grew from there big time. And there's a lot of people with a lot of talent behind the scenes of Kyle Busch Motorsports, from the building to the engineering to just the bodies, the wind tunnels, everything.
Yeah.
TRD was a big thing.
Sure.
Okay. And so, like him or hate him, Kyle Busch can drive.
Oh yeah.
Man, that guy, he can get the
He can
most
drive.
out of the car. I've seen that guy, he turns the wick up, and that car, tires smoking sideways and foot through the firewall, and he's putting on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
so,
great to work for. Everybody
bet.
constantly asked me about him. What's Kyle like? I said, well, he's not what you see on what you see on TV. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
But he is a super nice guy. He'll come up and talk to you any given day about whatever.
Now, so they opened up a new go-kart track out in Viola, Illinois a couple of years ago, and Kyle came to town with Braxton and his wife and raced out there. Did you get a chance to get out there and talk to him at all?
I had
or-
not. No.
So that said to me, and here he is, he's coming to Viola, Illinois to a dirt track,
Right.
running go-karts with his kids. So the guy's got to love his family and, be 110% into Braxton, in his racing program.
Yep.
So-
And he's trying to get that dirt background in him.
Yes,
'cause
sir.
I think
Very
Kyle
important.
Larson's kind of opened up some eyes to some of these guys. And
Tony Stewart, those guys
Stewart
all.
Well, and Briscoe, Chase Briscoe, he comes from his dad. I race sprint cars. My dad and I both race sprint cars with his dad in Indiana.
Yeah.
He comes from a real thorough. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We raced with his dad down in the Memphis area. Yeah, I mean it's pretty intrinsic now, in the most of the guys coming up through the NASCAR ranks. If they don't have a name, they're come from the dirt tracks.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, we got another question here before we get deep into the program. Mitchell's first feature win, and where was it at? Let us know when his first feature win was, what year, and what track it was at.
Track. So both the year and the track.
Yep.
All right.
And we're going to give you, this time, we're going to give away one of these beautiful banners here. And this one,
How about that one?
they hang in the shop. They are just, a great commercial grade banner. We're going to give you an MSD banner that's autographed by Mitch Way.
Love it.
So we need a track and a year. And, Mom, you don't count, because you're going to know the answer to that. So, hey, picture 48, Wook. Let's get that on. So when we look up there at, this truck, now was this also, what year was this, Mitchell? I'm just going to ask you.
That would have been 2010.
Okay. Just, and you had a multi-sponsor deal that year. You didn't always have Dollar General on. You had a couple of different sponsors throughout the season.
Yep.
Based on where you're at. So where was this victory at here?
That one there's Texas.
Okay.
We were always usually pretty successful there. That was
All I got to do is read.
That was a brand new truck.
And
right
that was
there.
a beautiful truck. I love that iconic paint scheme, from back in the old Bobby Labonte days.
Yep.
And that is so that I am second .com right there that you see is the Interstate Battery guy.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he has there's a book. If you look up iamsecond.com.
I'll have to do that. I
Yeah,
like reading
there's
books.
a book on that.
Okay.
But yeah, that was Texas. That's Kyle driving. And as far as the sponsors go, everybody wanted to be a part of KBM.
Yeah.
And so you did have different sponsors and you're pleasing different ones. And then, Kyle didn't always just drive that full year.
Right.
We had different drivers also.
Right.
So, Mitchell, were you the right front tire man on this truck, or what were you doing on this?
I was at this particular time, I was the front end mechanic and the front tire carrier.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell me, what kind of program do they have for you, as an employee and part of the team? Do you have a gym you can go to and work out? Is there something right on site that you can go to? Or?
No. I always went to my own gym
Okay.
and worked out. And then you did do your own, pit stop
All right.
training, there on site, right behind the building.
Okay.
And then you go through different drill, like you do live stops, or
Right.
you go through drills.
Yeah.
And,
Steve Irwin, 1997 Hawkeye Raceway is not it, but good guess. Keep guessing. We need a year and a track. So we're going to go to a couple other pictures here too. Let's take a look here, and we will roll to another one. How about picture number 40?
So how did you transition from gas man to right front wheel carrier? Are they positions?
Yeah, typically most of the time on like the truck level, that's the truck driver's duty, is to be the gas guy.
Okay.
And I guess it all depends on the size of the trucker.
All right.
But yeah, I didn't really want to keep gassing.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's try something else here. Let's be a tire carrier. And
Yeah.
it's not as easy as it looks.
No, I think it looks hard, actually.
I mean, when you're trying to hit 5 lug nuts in that center hub in one shot and not hit the fenders or hit the ground, and you're squatting.
Yeah.
Right.
It's definitely a different body movement and muscles that you don't normally use, and you're always doing it the same direction.
Okay.
So how do you practice?
You just grab one and start throwing.
Start throwing.
And they're not light.
Yeah.
No,
They're not
no,
light.
they're not light at all.
Hey, Justin Velos, he's asking how he can win that 43 Richard Petty fender behind us. Justin came out last weekend, just a quick story. And, I told him my favorite car when we did the show out at their shop was the Richard Petty theme paint scheme.
Yep.
And he's got it on there this year.
Yeah.
And I seen it. And, Justin, it looks bad to the bone. It looks great on the racetrack. And, I think you should carry that on your car for the next 100 years. But, hey, we'll have to talk about that fender. And so, a lot of great picks on there. Now, picture number 38, Wook, let's get that up. We'll take a look at Kyle up there doing a little celebration. He's one of those guys that, hey, you either love the guy or hate the guy, but you got to say, hey, this guy can drive. Look at that. Now, where would that have been at, Mitchell?
Oh boy. Actually, that would have been either been Daytona or Talladega.
Okay.
And how I can tell you that is a little bit of the body style. And if you notice, take a look at that rear spoiler.
All right.
See, it's a little taller, and look at the corners.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's an inch. There's another extra inch
Okay.
tall right there, and that's what
All right.
you had to run on the speedways,
All right.
super speedways.
Nice.
Hey, keep on guessing. We don't have
Very
winner
cool.
yet, so you want to get that banner, and Justin, that would look good in your garage. But yeah, that's real cool banner that we got, MSD banner for hanging out in a race shop. So we need a track, name, and a year. And if you don't get it pretty quick, we might give you a year, but not a track. But everybody that's tuned in so far, we want to thank you for tuning in. And we love having you on the show. Now,
Yeah, please make sure you like and share if you're watching us on either Facebook or YouTube. Please make sure that you like or share. Go ahead and share it to your feed, and it helps us all out, helps the sponsors, and helps our audience grow.
number 20, Wook, let's take a look there. How do you like that? Michigan International, and you got the tires up in smoke, which probably means you won.
Probably won, and probably in a dominating fashion, I would say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How do you like that? So, did you work on the Cup team eventually, Mitchell, or was this?
I was. They were wanting me to transition into the cup side.
Okay.
And sometimes you just have that gut feeling,
Right.
and it didn't really feel right, and I didn't go for it.
Okay.
And I would have been fine doing it because the car chief at the time was actually one of my old crew chiefs,
Okay.
Eric Phillips.
Yeah.
So I would have been fine, but there was just something about it. I don't know.
I got to tell you, I'm old. I'll be turning 63 here in 2 weeks. So I'm already telling people I'm 63 because I'm trying to get used to that number. But one thing I've learned is over the years, trust your gut.
Yeah.
Good Lord put that special feeling in you. It's usually right 9 out of 10 times. So trust that feeling.
That's right.
Okay, we're going to give you a little help here. The year that, I'm not going to tell you that. I'll tell you the win was at Davenport Speedway, Mitchell's first win for the banner. Now you just got to guess and give us the year. Keep on guessing. Christian, let's see. I remember helping Jason Velos, and he passed Mitch for his first and only feature win at Quad City Super Speedway. So that's pretty interesting, Chris. So, hey, we still need a year on his first feature win.
And CJ, you're close.
All right. Dialing in there. And Wendy don't count because she knows the whole history. She was right there at the racetrack. And Wookie, you let us know when we got a winner there. So, picture number 20. No, we're not going to go there because that is, there's an interesting in here that I wanted to have. Picture, okay. 17, we got a winner? All right.
Hey, Lisa Benningfield.
Lisa, you got to stop over at the studio. You got a banner for your race shop now. And just come over here on the way to the racetrack.
That's right.
If you come early, 1414 West Locust, come on inside. We'll have a sticky note with your name on it. And you can pick up your race banner. Thanks for participating. And we got no more stuff to give away. So
Thank you, everybody, for participating and guessing. Great
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the very first race I ever entered as well.
Here
Really?
it is.
Yeah,
Right out of the box.
right out of the box
That-
with the yellow dwarf car.
I
We,
believe it.
You probably remember John Seminack.
Yes. Yeah.
I was.
about that?
Grandpa tells me to follow John around.
Yeah.
John's like, okay, yeah, I'm new, rookie, never been on the track before. Well, I got to the point, I ended up winning that night.
Yeah.
First night, first car, everything, first of everything. And Grandpa was like, what the hell are you doing? What do you mean? I was like, you weren't supposed to do that. I'm like, yeah. I said he was slow. He was in my way, so I drove around him. So
How about that?
he was
That's
mad.
awesome.
John was pretty mad.
I bet.
You're like, hey, this
Supposed
is
to
no big
follow
deal.
me.
Yeah, what's up with this? That's
Yeah.
no big deal.
Wookie, we're going to look at picture 17, 18, and then 19. But, as being part of that team that won the championship in that year would have been 2010.
2010, yeah.
Okay.
First year for KBM.
And you got a ring.
I got a ring.
And you still got that thing?
I still do.
All
That
right,
is-
man. That is bad to the bone.
That is amazing. That is
uh,
amazing.
That's something you'll carry with you the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
And then the best picture that I like is the next one we got coming up, which is number 19, because that's kind of timeless. So Bob came out to the races to see how you guys get her done.
Yep. That would have been Chicagoland.
Chicagoland.
Yep.
Now, was he able to stay down the pits and hang out?
Oh, yeah.
or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's the pits right there, the garage area, the whole deal.
Very
Yep.
nice.
Whole deal,
And,
man.
and eventually, you can probably see it on the Ford trailer there. They had the observation deck
Yeah.
up, and ours just wasn't up. Doesn't look like yet, but yeah, he's able to get up there, and you can watch the whole race.
Sure.
Whole practice. Usually, it's taken down for the race, but
Yeah.
But you get up there and you watch practice and all the way around.
Very cool.
Now, as you moved around in the sport, do you still have one of those Dollar General shirts, or did you have to turn those in? when you-
No, I still have them.
Still got 'em?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say, about every race track I've worked at announcing, I've still got my old Speedway shirts. So
Very
that's
cool.
just kind of a nice, item to hang on to. I can tell you what, Mitch, you're a young man right now. But when you get old like me and Grandpa, that stuff really means a lot to you. So hang on to that stuff. It'll be very important.
They had
And
a pretty interesting weekend in NASCAR racing too. They ran both at Portland on the road course,
Yep.
and it rained, shocking. So I actually work for a company based in Portland, and then they ran Gateway. The Winston Cup cars ran Gateway yesterday,
Okay.
first time ever, and actually it was sold out. It was absolutely packed for that race. Pretty decent races too, as a matter of fact.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's look at picture 21 here, Look. And this is another Great Pack Cup
Yeah,
team.
how about that?
Gatorade Victory Lane, man, down at Kansas. You know that Bush, he's won in about anything he climbed into. And
Yep.
what year would that have been, Mitchell?
That was when I was at Gibbs. That would have been 2004 or 15.
Okay.
I believe it was 15, 16.
Now, what was Joe Gibbs like?
He's a straight up guy.
Just
He's-
straight up, huh?
Yep. Yeah. He'll man, he's down to earth, and yeah, he'll definitely take the time to talk to you.
Okay.
you walk by, he's saying hi. Sometimes before you're saying hi to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that whole family's a great group of people.
Okay.
So how did you transition from KBM to Gibbs? What prompted you to make the jump?
Well, I ended up, I say I didn't go cup racing, but I did. But I left KBM to what I thought was going to be a pretty good opportunity to go to Hendrick.
Okay.
And that's when I was there for a while. Went
And-
truck racing again.
All right.
And then that's how I got a hold of Eric Phillips, then was my crew chief at KBM.
Okay.
He was crew chiefing at Gibbs.
All right.
And so he got my foot in the door. And actually it was a weird deal because I'm talking with him to get a job at Gibbs.
Yeah.
And then I get a missed phone call from a different crew chief at Gibbs. I was like, what is going on here? So I get a hold of Eric. I'm like, hey, man, like, this guy's trying to get me to come work. I thought
Okay.
you were. He's like, no, yeah, I know. It's all good. I just thought maybe you might want to do this position instead.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't want to step
Yeah.
on anybody's toes here.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's kind of how that all transitioned. And a lot of that deal down there is, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And it's not really your resume.
Okay.
Even though I hand out 200 or whatever when I went down
Whatever
there.
it was.
But beyond that, I never had a resume.
Okay.
You didn't have to.
Okay. Hey, so next question, we're going to give away another garage banner. How many feature wins in Mitchell's career thus far? Give us a number, and when you hit that magic number, then you're going to get a garage banner. So, Mitchell, let's look at picture number 4, and this would be from Hendricks Motorsports. But tell us the story behind this one we got coming up, which, look at that, man.
That's another ring
And you've got one of those.
that I do have. Yep, that is
Okay.
currently it right there.
Wow.
You can see off to the side. It's got my name, just like the KBM one. It's got my name and Hendrick right below it.
Wow.
I won the Daytona 500 with Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Even though I worked in the same building as Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Guys got to
And
go a
then-
lot higher.
And then and then like the 24 and the 5, they're in another building.
Yeah.
So, but I was able to work on both cars, 48 and 88.
Okay.
But primarily, my position was on the 48.
Nice.
Jeff, you got a ways to go. You got to go a lot higher than that.
And what did you do on the 48 car?
I primarily it was kind of a confusing deal when I started because I was up in the electrical room.
Okay.
What am I doing up here? This is not what I got hired for.
Right.
I mean, I'm fine with learning it. I want to learn it, but I was up there forever. But then I mechanicked on the car in the shop, and I went to a couple tests,
Okay.
with Jimmy and the 48 car, and
How do you like that?
Joe
Okay.
Nemitz.
Joe Nemitz, man, another
win.
racer.
That's right.
Joe, this is going to look good in your garage.
107 wins. That's amazing.
107 wins. So now, Wookie, he's going to pick that up at 1414 West Locust Street in Davenport, Iowa. We got one more, but we still got some time left. So
And Mitch, I think that's one thing that maybe talk about the size of the organizations. Maybe some of the viewers don't necessarily realize how big the NASCAR organizations are. I actually worked for Ray Evernham down in Mooresville.
Okay.
So it was when Gillette bought into they bought into Petty and Ray was on his way out, and so
Yeah.
I worked for Ray for a year. So I have a little bit of exposure. So I have some idea, but maybe some of the
Yeah.
people that are watching don't really have any idea of how big these organizations are.
Right.
How many people work at Hendricks Motorsports?
So when I was at Hendrick, there was 600 employees.
wow.
Yeah.
600 employees there, and you wouldn't know it. You
Yeah.
would not know it. The
Okay.
place is so big, and there's so many buildings.
Wow.
And then,
So
then like when I was at Gibbs, there was probably 400
Probably a
somewhere
little
in
leaner
there.
company.
But then you get some of these other teams, you may only have 50.
Right.
You know, it's the lower budget teams that doesn't have the funding,
Okay.
to have the engineering people and the higher end crew chiefs, and not saying that some of the lower budget crew chiefs weren't as smart as the higher budget one. They might have not just got the chance to end up at a Gibbs or a Hendrick.
Right.
But yeah, it varies from team to team. But definitely Hendrick, Gibbs, Ganassi, those are definitely the bigger ones out there.
So Mitchell, my brother Sam, he's always been a Jimmy Johnson fan. And I was a Dale Senior and then a Dale Junior fan, but don't hold it against me. But Jimmy Johnson, tell me a little bit about that guy. Sam loves him. Is he as nice as he appears on camera?
Very much so. Yep. He's the same deal. He'll stop and talk to you.
Yeah.
Very athletic. I remember going down to Homestead, and I was actually I was on the truck deal yet, and we're in the garage going through tech. Something caught my eye, and I turn around and look, and someone's running on the racetrack.
Okay.
What's this all about? So I just kind of, all right, whatever. And the guy runs by again. Well, that's Jamie Johnson out there making laps, running. And but he was very athletic, and he's done some marathons and stuff like that. So props to him for that. But
Man.
I wouldn't be able to run around there.
No, I think he ran like in the Boston Marathon.
Yeah,
or the New York
that's
City
one of them,
Marathon,
yeah.
something. Yeah, and I'm like, I love that. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme or the clip on YouTube where people do the voiceover and they'll say, why are you running? Is someone chasing you?
Yeah, that's funny.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to see him out running around the track.
There's one picture in here I want to kind of get a little, give me a little background on. Picture number 2, Wookie. I'll take a picture. Look at that. I mean, here you are. You're in the Midwest. You go to get away from snow. Where in the world did you go that you found snow?
Well, this would have been up in the hills of Snowshoe Mountain. I'm pretty sure that's Snowshoe Mountain in West Virginia.
Okay.
That is a amazing place to go to.
Wow. Nice.
You drive up the mountain, and on top of the mountain's the hotels
Okay.
and restaurants, pool, jacuzzi. It's all up there. And so when you want to go skiing, you just walk right out your door
Yeah.
of your room, and you go skiing
And
down
away
the
you
hill.
go.
You don't
Very
travel. You're already there.
My
But that's an
gosh.
awesome place.
That looks
awesome
like you're
place.
happy.
Yeah. And there's a couple other places like up in Tennessee.
Yeah.
A lot smaller, but you go skiing, get away. But it was nice, like located in Mooresville, Concord area. You drive a couple hours north to the mountains, whether
Okay.
you want to go in the summer or right there, and go skiing or something, or you can go 4 hours east and go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a great location to be.
So now, Mitchell, do you know Dale Fishline?
I do.
Okay. Did you run into him at all down there?
I did when I was initially down there.
Okay.
Yep, and he was actually at Everham's
Okay.
when I went down, and I never was able to land a job in there, but
Man.
I'm just a dirt guy from Iowa.
Dirt guy
No
from
resume.
Iowa, just
But
like
you'd be- but you'd be
Fishline,
su-
man.
But that's cool though. You'd be surprised how many transplants are down there, or
Yeah.
racers.
There's a
Plus
lot.
racers.
There's a lot. Over time, I've
Yeah.
met a lot that are in the same shoes I'm in, that
Yeah.
been dirt racing, and there's more down there from the Midwest than I ever known.
Wow.
Like,
Funny story. Yeah, funny story. Ray actually bought a small dirt track. He loves dirt track racing, which is how he and I met. And then he actually bought a track just out northeast of town. I think it's
Lincolnton.
Yeah, Lincolnton. And I remember the locals there complaining about when I came. They said I was another damn Yankee. That was, because they were local guys, and they're like, here comes another damn Yankee.
There
And
we
I'm like,
go.
what? But yeah, there are a whole bunch of transplants down there racing.
Hey, final question. We're giving away another Done Right ball cap, and that is, what is Mitchell's favorite racetrack, favorite dirt racetrack? Let us know what that is, and you'll win a brand new Done Right TV ball cap.
Is this also the one that you're most successful at?
Don't give it away. Come on.
I'm
Pat?
curious. I'm curious. Do they go
Come
hand in
on.
hand? Because often that's the case.
Hey,
It's-
number 56. Let's take a look here.
Not
Will.
very often you have one that you just cannot find your ass with both hands, and you say, you know what, that's my favorite joint.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Says no one ever.
You know what, man? Is this a great picture? Where is this
That
one
is.
here at?
That was Davenport.
Over at Davenport,
Yeah, we
okay.
were on the far back side of the pits there.
Yep.
This was just a couple.
got a winner.
Oh, you got a winner. Yeah, good job, Kevin. Oh, Matt Stein, Dan Klatt. Oh, yeah, y'all got it.
There you
Well
go,
done,
Dan
there you
Platt.
go.
You're the winner, man. Come on down here to the studio, 1414 West Locust, and pick up your free ball cap. And there we go. All right.
That was on the back side of Davenport. Probably getting ready for heat race time, I would say. Great picture. That's Terry Ann Photography. Props to my little sister.
Yep.
She took some good ones.
She
Very
did.
nice.
So we're looking at this car. You're driving a rage car now, Mitchell. What's the difference between racing today and racing back when you got into it and you're running the old red car? The cost of tires has went up. The cost of the cars have went up. I mean, what do you see happening? And to me, just being a guy behind a mic, the level of competition is so intense today. I mean, when you look out there at the racetrack on a given night, there's 15 cars that could win the feature.
Yeah. Yep. It's a
What?
pretty close level playing field. One night you think you might win, and next night, not a chance.
Yeah.
And same with all these other guys. And the competition is a lot harder. And when I first started running this car last year, it was an eye opener for me because it was not. Even though I haven't driven since 2005,
Right.
I get in it and like, wow, this is totally different ball game right here. Everything's more or less the basics are the same. Setup wise to a point, but you still have your caster, you still have your camber, your wheelbase and all this and that. But there's other things there that were probably way overlooked years ago.
Okay.
And you have to be on top of your game and knowing and being smart with these cars. And it's not just modifieds. It's on down to these 4-cylinder cars. These guys are doing some crazy things with those.
They are.
Things. And so there's a lot of knowledge that you have to get rolling if you want to be competitive.
All right.
Yep. Without a doubt.
So you're running a rage car. Now, rage is all the rage right now. I mean, my God, Andy Eckridge has got it figured out with those cars.
Yeah, I was
Yes, he does.
decided to get a rage car, and then after I was kind of more along in the process of buying this rage car, I'm up at Davenport, and I'm like, rage. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
Shout out to Andy and the guys up at Precision Performance. They do a whale of a job.
Now, Pat got KO'd opening night out, man. He got the whole rear end, trailing arms, shocks, and drive shaft. I mean, if you were going to do it right, you did it right that first night there, Pat. You're just out there ghetto cruising and got KO'd in the side, and all of a sudden, man, you're spending a lot of money.
Yeah, and again, shout out to those guys. I got the car up there, and they got it in, got it fixed, and got it back out. And actually, I was within maybe a couple hours. I probably could have thrown the body on it and come out Friday night, but our plan this last weekend was to hit Macokota.
It rained out.
And we got the car all prepped and ready, and then got rained out.
Yeah.
So
now, West Liberty. Mitchell, it's your favorite racetrack. I think you got 7th up there the last time you drove. And, what do you think you can do to get that thing to go faster?
I'm gonna have to hit the grinding stone and get after it because I thought I have, but apparently I haven't hit it hard enough because that thing's been wearing on me. It's
Man.
Yeah, I've thrown about everything at it you can, and there's
Okay.
nights that are decent and others that are like, why'd I even show up? So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll get it.
You're running, you ran top 5 there for a couple of nights, and I thought, now we're talking about over at Davenport, and I thought, man, he's getting that thing figured out. And then, you struggle a little bit over there at West Liberty, but, I can tell you one thing. You haven't forgot how to drive.
No.
And I'm just being honest with you. And so once you get that car figured out, you're going to be in good shape. And, you just got to have that patience. And, I got to tell you, I got out of racing for, a little while, won a national championship. 1987, we had 35 feature wins, 36 feature wins it was. We were on top of the world. So, Bruce straighted out Quality Plus, says, hey, Shane, let's go buy a race car and go racing again. Well, man, first night out, we're running late model. We got 12th in the feature. And I remember I was on Steve Donovan's show, and the first caller called in and said, hey, Shane, you should have stayed retired. And, and I was feeling bad anyway.
Yeah.
Because, even though you shouldn't be arrogant or haughty or prideful or, you're pretty proud that, hey, I was kind of something there for a little while. And that it could have done one of two things. Could have run me into the ground. And I felt bad that night because I took a couple of those calls. But it made me more determined than ever to get back on track. We got ninth the second night out, seventh the third night out, and the fourth night we won the feature. It don't mean you got to win the feature in 4 nights, but I can tell you, even though we ran that car all season long and we won a few races, it took me till the end of the season to be comfortable in the car, to be comfortable with what we had to throw at it, depending on where we're racing at, and even for me to get back in driving shape because I think some of the people up in the stands, they look at you and think, anybody can drive them things. But, man, you got to be in shape, Mitch.
Oh, yeah, you got to be in shape. I've gotten out of that car with my hands a little sore and a couple nights at Davenport, probably cheater's night, actually. That thing was stock as can be. It's like racing against those guys, and track was tacky and heavy and fast, and, man, I was wore out. But I was doing everything I could to keep up with the cheater guys. But yeah, you got to be in shape, just even on a nice track.
Well, and I think that also speaks to the level of competition the places around here where you can't be, if you're not 100, even if you are on, it's really easy to run 12th or 13th. You see a guy like like Bone Larson the other night, 2 weeks ago at Davenport, ran 12th or 13th, something like that. Spencer hasn't won a lot of races this year, and it doesn't take much to go from winning to 7th, 8th.
No, and they're rage cars.
Not with the level of competition where everybody's at right now.
So Bone won 36 features last year and won an IMCA modified national title, and he struggled this year. Then he jumps in that late model and picked off a nice win with that Hoker Trucking East Series, but he's having a little struggles, so. It just happens. It
doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to go from a top 3 to 12th. Not with the level of competition we have around here, and you can't say that enough. But the places around here, this is the mecca of stock car racing.
Hey, I'm going to ask you. I'm a fat guy, so I'm going to ask you. What's your favorite track food? I used to go to Liberty, and they had a tenderloin sandwich that you kill somebody for. They don't have it this year, but they got Marcus Ostaffi up there with Pit Crew Barbecue. They do a wonderful job, and that's who's selling food down in the pits. But did you have a favorite track food? Now, Boone, Iowa used to have steak sandwiches that they were just the best.
Yeah, throughout traveling, like even being in North Carolina and traveling, I'd hit up a couple dirt tracks when I could. But, yeah, steak sandwiches are good. You could never go wrong with nachos. But I tried to, especially when I was driving, keep the eating to a minimal.
Gosh,
and,
you and Pat.
Keep it to the minimal, but I love me a walking taco, though.
I had one of those at Davenport Friday night.
Pat and I were down, we like slot car racing in the wintertime. You're going to have to do that with us sometime. Pat's got a track out the shop. So we're just big little big kids. We were down there at Mark's track.
Yep.
And we left, and right next door there was a barn on Wednesday nights. It's in this little town that's called
Elkhart.
Elkhart,
Illinois.
And they have all you can eat chicken. Now, I'm telling you what, when they said that, and they had a big salad bar. Well, Pat eats, a little salad, and I don't know if you had one piece of chicken, and if it was a leg, but man, that guy, he thought a herd of locusts come flying in the door and went through that salad bar and all that chicken. I mean, I kept loading up. Hey, this stuff's good. I'm getting my money's worth. Probably gained 5 pounds by the time I left, but. Hey, I'm not driving anymore. I don't have to be light.
That's funny.
Watch that left side weight.
That's right. Never know. Might have to come out of retirement, huh?
That's right.
So, Mitch, what's on the agenda down the road for you? What are your plans? Keep hitting it with this rage car, and
yeah, I got to get this thing working. It's the only car I have, unless I dig out that old yellow car.
Hey,
I might have to though. You never know.
Bob. There you go.
But yeah, I need to get this thing going and get on a somewhat successful streak.
Yeah.
Somewhere here, but yeah, I want to keep racing. It's hard not to do it, especially now that I'm back in it again. And last year I asked Grandpa. I said, "Hey, what do you think about going racing again?"
Yep.
And here we are. So
Yeah,
very nice.
bought a new car. I was gonna buy a used one from Andy, and then he we didn't talk. And then when I did get to talk to him, he had it sold. It's like, well, okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna do something else here. So I ended up buying a new one. But
Well, that's good. You know, I got to tell you, you know, it's when I seen you back out on the racetrack last year, you know, I just always enjoyed watching you drive. I enjoy watching you drive today. I know you're going to get it together. It's just that, you know, some of these guys that have been hot and heavy at it for a lot of years, you know, you come back from down south and jump back behind the wheel of a race car. I know you're going to get it right, Mitch. So
yeah, we'll get there.
Don't lose any faith. I got faith in you.
Yeah.
I'm up there cheering for you, man. That car
I've
looks
lost some.
fast.
I've been ready to throw in the towel. a couple
Nah,
times,
you
but
can't
I
do
can't.
that.
I can't. That's why I'm still out there working until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
You got to get that thing right. So one of these days we're gonna have to come out to the race shop. When you get that thing going and you got a little more time to clean the shop up, then
Yep.
we'll come out and check it all out. Let's see. Another question we wanted to ask you: what was your best racing memory that you had through all the years? Dirt track, NASCAR, whatever it is. The best memory you got in racing to date?
I guess probably. I mean, definitely you can't not consider the first win ever. You know, that one. I mean, who would've
Yeah, and you
thought
had
I could ever
Grandpa
done
there
that,
with you.
But yeah, man, there's been a lot of successful nights. You know, being able to go up to West Liberty and win like we did, and multiple races, and you know when my uncles and grandpa and them were going up and struggled a lot of times. I don't know how I was able to be successful there, really. But I was fortunate enough to be able to. But yeah, we've had good races, good wins. You know, winning the Reinhardt Memorial out of
That's
Bluegrass.
right.
I had
Oh,
to,
yeah.
and there was first lap or whatever. I end up on the hood of Dominecki,
Right.
and I go to the rear, and I come up and won that thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that's a good one, you know, and you know, some of the races winning with Kyle and even Eric Jones, you know, on the NASCAR side of things. Man, we got some good ones there. We almost had I mean, it's still memorable, but we ran Iowa Speedway with Eric Jones. We had a dominating car. Like you weren't going to beat us.
Yeah.
Just hands down. And throughout practice, we never ran more than 26 laps in practice. So when the race come around, now we're lap 28, and Eric's on the radio. Hey, we got something wrong.
Oh no.
Talking about fuel pressure and all this and that. And it's like, well, what's wrong? So the fuel pickup guy at the shop didn't put the fuel pickup on, so it only picked up so much fuel. So we timed it. We came in and pitted during cautions that we had fuel so we could make a plan. And we got our spare fuel cell out of the hauler, got all of our parts and pieces, tools. Everybody knew what to do. And next caution, came in, changed that cell back in. He's out on the track and did not lose a lap.
Holy
That's
cow.
unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think
Wow.
I'm not 100% sure. I think we finished 5th
Okay.
um,
Wow.
at the end of
That's
the night.
impressive,
But
though. Holy
yeah.
cow.
yeah,
That's a
that was
story.
one to remember. So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of them, and I'm sure there's ones that I've forgotten. But I mean, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, there's a lot. I've had a lot of success in everything I've been a part of.
What are your thoughts on the trucks running on the dirt, like Knoxville?
I mean, I kind of like to see them run Knoxville. I thought it was kind of goofy when they first wanted to go to Eldora.
Right.
I was like, really? But it was all right. You know, I thought it was entertaining. The fans loved it, and
Fans love it.
I was actually there for one of the events,
Okay.
truck racing. But yeah, the tires, man, they need some different tires. Like they don't have enough tire for them heavy trucks.
Yeah.
You know, on dirt.
Yeah.
But
like ice skating. I
yeah.
think the trucks are running there not this weekend, but next weekend, if I remember right,
Okay.
in Knoxville. Yep. I think it's the
They'll love
18th,
it
if I
there.
remember right. Yeah.
That's right.
It's one
Hey.
track I'm gonna have to get to and run. I've watched races there. I haven't ever drove it.
Well, I tell you, when we run up there in the IMCA Modified, they used to run up there. In fact, before the IMCA Super Nationals landed at Boone, Iowa forever, I think it was 1987, we ran up there in Knoxville, Iowa, and they had the Super Nationals up there because they had a pit area and everything large enough to accommodate that many cars. And, back then, and I don't know, Pat, you would know, the dirt back then, I remember going out for a walk on the racetrack and picking it up, and it actually, stretched and snapped like it was a piece of, rubber. It was just so much bite in that track.
River bottom clay, and it's so
What it
sticky
is.
that it'll actually pull your shoes off.
Oh, man, that was something.
And everybody watching, if you haven't seen a race at Knoxville, you got to get there because
Right.
it's the speed of that joint and the size of it. It doesn't do it justice.
Right.
It's an amazing place.
It's my favorite all-time place.
Hey, it's been an hour
Can't
and
believe it.
about 7 minutes already, Mitch. I told you it'd fly by.
has.
Closing, you got anything you want to say to the fans out there?
Oh man, just I hope maybe I can get some more support out of some fans just showing up to the racetrack and watching, and
Sure.
I could always use more sponsors. I've been lucky enough to have the people on that I do, and I guess I should go through their names and list them all
Yep.
because everybody's been a great part
Right.
of this program. But yeah, it's been a struggle, but it's success at the same time. But
Sure.
we've had last year I had Greg and Heather Gill with Eastern Iowa Landscape come up to me in Tipton, and they were an old time sponsor of mine back when I was here before.
Back in the day.
Yep. And he's like, let me know. I'll help you out any way I can. And so he has. And I haven't been out there enough this year to even see him, but
There you go.
there they
Eastern
are.
Iowa
Eastern
Landscape
Iowa
right there.
Landscape right there. Yep.
Yeah.
And,
Any other sponsors that you want to give a plug? And this is and guys, if you're watching the show, please make sure that you also support the people that support us. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for landscapers and you're on the fence, give the people support that support us.
That's right. They do an amazing job. They get on their Facebook page, and they got some
Yeah.
amazing pictures of stuff they've done. But Matt there with Lucky Blocks, he builds sanding blocks for body work.
All right.
Weber Performance, he's out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's been a big help. Midwest Mega Squirt. You need anything done with your fuel injection or just engine tuning in general on your street rod or
Sure.
like drag car at Cordova, he can dial you right in.
All right.
Smart man right there. Forms Unlimited. I got Fawn with Plants and More. Kim and Kurt. They've been behind me even back in the red car days. They've been a part of me.
That's great.
Precision Performance and Snap-on. He's helped me out with a couple half-inch gun and a
Nice.
3/8 gun. Yeah, you gotta have those to take tires and
Yeah, the
the
good
body
stuff.
off, right?
That's right.
That's right.
Yep.
But yeah, and Stefan with Cam Graphics, he's done a good job.
Very nice.
Helped me design the scheme on that thing, and
Looks beautiful.
and then come up with a new one. Teresa with Beertinis down there on the West End, old Jeff Walker's old bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's kind of come aboard to help out.
All right.
So that's nice to keep gaining some.
Yeah.
Sure.
Without a doubt.
All right. Now, Pat, in closing, you got anything you want to say?
Again, one more plug, guys. Please make sure you like and share. It helps us all out. We look forward to keeping this rolling. Mitch, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
I love the momentum that we have, buddy, and
Yeah.
just look forward to keeping it going.
All right, man. Well, hey, remember, tune in Monday nights. We're
That's
here every
right.
Monday, 7 o'clock, Done Right TV. Check us out. You can watch this thing after we go off the air again. You can get on YouTube or you can get on our Facebook page, and we have it posted in several different spots. But thanks for tuning in. God bless all you great race fans out there that tune in every week. And this is Shane Davis saying we'll be seeing you around the track. Good night.